Da, 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 da. Oh, wait, that's Hail to the Chief, isn't it? I'm not the president. I shouldn't really have that as my theme music.
Somewhere there is a distant light.
It's a big day. Well, Wednesday was a big day. I became an American citizen, which I wrote about this week. And so, because this is sort of an unusual post that really wasn't about creative process or anything and is just like personal, I think we'll do a bit of a show and tell, and I'll talk a bit about what the experience was like, and then we can get the hell out of here.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Go back to your lives, citizens.
No dilly-dallying. What do you think about that? Sounds good, doesn't it? So I've been here 20 years. My green card was due to expire, and I just thought, you know what? It is time to commit.
I don't want to be afraid of the commitment thing.
So I just went for it. And the waiting time was originally like 16 months or something. All up, it's only been maybe 4 months. I really didn't expect it to go that quickly. And the whole process leading up to the oath-taking ceremony, which was on Wednesday, it's actually kind of nerve-wracking. To prepare for your interview, they give you this little naturalization study book, which has 100 questions in it. You have to learn the answers to all of them, but you will only be asked 6 during the interview, but you don't know what 6. And they're a mix of civics questions, geography questions, and history questions. Let's see, what would be an example? How many members are there in the House of Representatives? 435. How many senators are there? 100. Name one of the 2 longest rivers in the United States, Mississippi or Missouri. Also things like name your senator, that kind of stuff. Maybe they sound really simple to you, but I did not grow up in this country. I probably could have guessed the Mississippi for the longest river. I've never really had a hand in voting.
I'm going to vote for peanut butter and jelly.
I taste victory.
Which is one of the primary reasons I became a citizen, so that I could participate in this democracy, not just at a federal level, but at a local level.
Locals only.
I also wanted to feel better about criticising America, because I would say something bad about the system, because there are genuinely things here that suck. Healthcare, oh my God.
You suck!
And often I would criticise it and then immediately follow up by saying out loud to anyone that heard me complaining, if you don't like it, go back to your own country. Because that's kind of how I felt. I didn't feel like I had any right, really, to complain, even though I've lived here for 20 years. And now I can complain to my heart's content. My heart is never content. The complaining will carry on.
Not one of these complaints is against me.
So you go in, you answer your 6 questions. It's still nerve-wracking. You come out of there, like, well, I passed.
The test is over.
But you're still not a citizen. You have to take the oath. And there was like 2 weeks, I think, between that and this. And they told me in that interview that it would be a drive-through ceremony, which I was not expecting. It took a lot of self-control not to say,
Would you like fries with that?
no, it didn't. I was never going to say that. My friend Jessie wanted to come. She's an American. She's like, I want to see what this process is like. It's always nice to share things and to have a photographer who can document it for you. She seemed genuinely excited. And I guess if you're an American and you don't have any sort of green card holders or immigrants in your family, you're never going to see this, really. They allocate you a time for your citizenship. You drive in. It's in a parking lot outside the USCIS building in San Jose, which is next to the airport, across the street from a Costco, America.
Freedom is the only way, yeah.
It's a big parking lot. You drive in and they basically slot you into a row. I think there was like 6 rows across. And then they'll take people in waves. So maybe it was like 30 people at a time. You drive in. While you're waiting, someone comes up to your window. They ask for your green card. I let the green card go. This one thing that has kept me legal in this country, out of my hands it went into the hands of this guy. And then he gives me a packet. There was 2 parts to the packet. And then the second part, which was the bit I actually saw first, was this. I got a letter from my new pen pal, Joe Biden. Do you want to see it? It's from the White House. That's where the big fellas live. It's got like a watermark on it.
Eggshell with Romalian tape.
And this is the letter that I got. I didn't know that I was going to be emotional this day. I just thought it would be a joyous thing. And it was a joyous thing. But I started reading this letter and I got a little verklempt,
Oh, I'm so happy. I could be a model.
a little emotional, a little teary. I said to Jessie, I think I'm tearing up. And I was concerned. But look at this little letterhead on the top there. Ooh, letterhead. Ooh, it's got such nice... And then there's like Grandpa's signature. I am honoured to welcome you as a fellow American in our great nation of immigrants. That's a good letter. You got to admit, that's a good letter. Might even frame that one. And then you get this. The first thing I pulled out was the flag. They give you a little flag. It's got like a little citizenship. I don't know. What is it? The pros do? Yeah, it says on that there. I can tell you, part of my exam, there are 50 stars for 50 states and there are 13 stripes for the 13 original colonies. I know stuff. A little copy of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Oath of Allegiance. Star-Spangled Banner on the back there. And the little Pledge of Allegiance. Whenever I think about the Pledge of Allegiance, I always think of a book I loved as a child called Ramona the Brave, where she always wanted to get up and do the Pledge of Allegiance at school, but she never got called on. And then the one day she did get called on, she'd been bitten by a dog and lost her shoe on the way to school, so she was super embarrassed about it. Oh, Ramona. Look at this. Get in there. Register to vote. Yes, I will. I believe I will.
It's okay that I voted for him in both columns, right?
Application for a US passport. 14 facts about voting in America. I'll have to read through that. Freedom to express yourself. Freedom to worship as you wish. Or not worship. It's up to you. Right to vote in elections for public officials. Look out, Santa Cruz. I got a lot of thoughts. Right to apply for federal employment requiring US citizenship. Do you have to be a citizen to join the postal service? I would love to drive one of those little trucks around. So you open that up, then we see the group in front of us drive away. New citizens, free to go out and live their lives and make their lives in America. The next group of us move up. We're told to wait in the car until we're called to go up and take the oath. I go up, I'm standing there in line, I'm like super nervous. I was just grinning like a loon. Then you put your hand up, you take the oath. Congratulations, back in the car. Then you wait, and then this turns up. If I had known that they were going to use this photo, I would have maybe made an effort. But I didn't think they were going to use that photo. But here we are. Do they have to say I'm single on there? Whatever. We come out. The US CIS building in San Jose, in Santa Clara, is kind of drab. I don't want to call it a brutalist building, but it's like a grey government building. And they've got like the typical sign out the front, US Department of Immigration or whatever it is. People line up and they get their photo taken in front of it. And Jessie's like, you are doing that. And I was like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Everybody's doing it. Of course. Of course you got to do it. Be proud. Be proud, Janine. Proud American. Jessie takes my photo. Everybody's helping each other out, taking photos of groups. And then Jessie and I got one together. And I took a selfie. It's done. It's over. The atmosphere in that parking lot was pure joy. Electric. I loved everything about the day. And now I got to get a passport. I mean, I think I said everything I wanted to say in the post. I just thought I'd share with you like a couple of the behind the scenes things. Everything that led to this. We'll always hide that photo. Let's hide that photo there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Nothing's really... I mean, I feel pretty much the same.
She was